Welcome back to Studio F on Fast Times Willy B. We'll be reviewing My Old Ass. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell!
Welcome back to Fast Times Willy B. I'm Willy B. I got Rosie. Rosie, how we doing?
I'm so good.
Ready to review My Old Ass?
I am. It's so funny. I don't know why.
So, immaturity is what we'll be going over today. No, I'm kidding. So, directed by Megan Park.
Oh.
We've got Maisie Stella. We've got Aubrey Plaza, who is the familiar face. We've got Percy Hines White, who is a familiar face for me from the Wednesday series. Maddie Ziegler, you know her from
Dance Moms.
That's it. Yeah. There it
That's
is.
literally it.
But little cast, but a good one.
Yeah.
We'll start with the good, and I think we can start with, this is just a feel-good movie.
Yeah.
It is a coming-of-age comedy.
My
you and I
favorite
both,
genre.
Love coming-of-age movies. And yeah, I mean, it's a quick hour-and-a-half movie. It's over the course of 3 weeks, basically. Our main character, Elliot, played by Maisie Stella, goes out with her friends with 3 weeks till she leaves for Toronto. And she's in this small town. Her family's cranberry farmers. But they go out to the woods and they do a little, shroomies. And on this trip, she meets her older self. And this older self tells her to avoid Chad. We don't know who Chad is yet. Chad ends up being the boy that works at the cranberry farm over the summer, who is also going to Toronto at the end of the summer.
Yeah.
Just all of these things.
Yeah.
And it's just, we follow along for 21 days. Elliot starts the movie gay.
Yes.
And falls for Chad, and it causes some confusion. It causes different feelings. But nonetheless, we follow her for these 3 weeks as she listens to her older self and, hangs out with her family a little more in her last chances to. She falls for Chad despite being told to avoid him.
Yeah.
And all in all, it's a fun 3 weeks. It's a fun ride. It's quick. The pacing's really good.
I thought so.
You never get lost. You know where you're at the entire movie.
Exactly.
All of the characters are pretty solid. All of the characters are quite the characters, I'll tell you what. Her brothers, you've got the one who's like, got his head on his shoulders straight, going to take over the family farm. He golfs. You've got the brother who's obsessed with Saoirse Ronan. From a slew of movies, Lady Bird being probably the most prominent.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, and he's already changing over her bedroom with the collage of pictures of Ronan. And just a fun group of characters, and it's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it's by any means the greatest coming-of-age film I've ever watched.
No.
But it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a different take. I've never seen a movie. Obviously there's different things with older selves and younger selves. But I really liked, how this one's kind of giving a direction.
Yeah.
To her younger self, being like, hey, you should be spending more time with your family. Hey, don't do this, do that. And it was kind of cool to see how she was actually going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of coming of ages, it's self-realization. This one, she has a guide along the way, her 39-year-old self, which is kind of cool, seeing yourself 21 years down the road. And then even after the mushroom trip, she still is able to contact you via text, which I'll never understand. But nonetheless, it still is a cool element of this film. And, like you said, it was different.
Yeah.
Not by any means my favorite, but it was cool to see a different-ish take on a coming-of-age film. You still get the romance elements, you still get the comedy, you still get everything that you expect from a coming-of-age, but there are some tweaks here and there to the formula, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And it's cool. All in all, had a good time. Cinematography is really nice. The small town that they selected was a great setting for this film. I mean, we get great shots in the water. We get great shots of, the woods and all of the greenery turning into orangery, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it was very nice.
The cranberry farm, some of the shots with the tractor are really nice. The golf course, just all around, just a really nice location of setting, and the set design too. I mean, the shops by the dock and the house up on the hill, and it's just a nice small town feel, and it makes you feel warm.
I'd agree.
Acting was good. I thought Maisie Stella was great in the lead role. I thought she did a fantastic job. I thought Percy was also great. Aubrey Plaza, a very limited role here. You know, when you watch the trailer and the marketing for this film, you kind of are misled thinking that she's going to have a bigger role, but she's gone for like a lot of the second act.
Yeah.
Which is where we see Maisie start falling for Chad. And so it allows the story to kind of be pushed by not having her. But, you know. I
kind of like not being able to see her, though, because, like...
I liked having her in the first act where she's like, this is what you should do. And then having her in the third act, you did what I said not to do.
Yeah.
And then have a realization that, like, oh, she's right.
I like, because, like, there was really no point for her to, like, stick around. And, like, at the point, like, we thought she was gone because the trip was over. Mm-hmm. And then we soon find out that she does come back even when nothing's happening, which is a little confusing, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. Another thing I liked was the ending. I thought this movie had a really good ending. Sad. Very sad.
Oh, yeah. I shed a tear.
You were bawling, not shedding a tear. I shed a tear.
Ball.
You had tears streaming.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. She's lying.
You weren't even... No, I didn't.
The lights came on and I was like, oh, you need to redo your makeup.
I'm not even wearing any makeup, so nice try.
But no, you did have some streams coming down your face. You weren't bawling.
I wouldn't say bawling.
You definitely were.
I cried.
You weren't shedding a tear. Yeah. But it is. It's a sad ending. I mean, it's a happy and sad ending.
I was going to say, it's not really sad, because, like, nothing happens that's sad.
The twist/reveal of why she shouldn't be with Chad is, like, a gut punch.
Yeah.
And it makes you shed a tear.
And her on the phone, listening to the voicemail is what really got me, because, like...
The message of the movie, basically.
It was the message of the movie, and it was...
Which, doing the message of a movie in a voice message is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But...
Super. I don't know. So it wasn't, like, traumatizingly sad.
No.
It wasn't
like a dog dies. It wasn't like Old Yeller.
No, definitely not. But this was very, I don't know. She realizes that even if this is going to happen, she's going to make it the best time together with Chad that she has. So It was just a sweet, because she kind of, in the beginning, Elliot kind of seems very, like, macho and, like, didn't really care about anybody else's. Like, she was just going to do whatever she wanted to do and, like...
very selfish.
Cared about herself. And, so this was nice being able to, like, see her in a different...
Yeah, it was 3 weeks of her falling in love and, you know, making time for her family and not being selfish. I mean, she even pushes her friends almost to the side for family, which was... Yeah. You know, they were a little upset and then they found out why and they were like, oh... You know, but... All in all, good story.
Yeah, I enjoyed the story a lot.
Is there anything else you'd like to mention in the good before we hop over to the bad?
I think we got it all. The story, the set design, the acting, you know, all the things.
So I'll hop over to the meh. Mm-hmm. I'll preface the meh by saying I don't have anything in the bad. So everything that I have that may be a distaste with this film will be right here.
I think for me as well, I wouldn't consider any of these things bad per se. Yeah. It's just either, for me at least, my things in the meh are just like things that I'm confused by. Yeah. Or like things I wish...
Plot holes almost.
Yeah, things I wish they would have explained further or something like that. Doesn't make the
I only have a few, for sure. I only have a few. Some of the comedy didn't land for me. And I think that is more of me being a boy.
An adult man.
An adult man, yes. I feel like if you're an 18-year-old girl, some of those jokes would have landed more.
Oh, yeah.
And even if you're a 25-year-old girl and you were there 7 years ago, maybe some of those jokes would have landed.
Yeah.
For me, like, a lot of them were when the friend group was together in the woods. I was like, this is corny.
I thought it was hysterical.
Maybe that's, like, I don't see that. But, like, if it was 3 dudes acting like me and my friends do, I would have found it funny and you'd been like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's hard to say, like, it's just when you're sitting there watching a movie and it's not made for you in the moment, you're like, well, you know.
Yeah.
The other one is the whole older self being able to text and call her. I wish that was explained more. I liked it. I liked it as a part of the story. I just wish the feasibility made more sense because they never explain how she's able to do that.
Yeah.
She just puts her phone number in her phone as My Old Ass, which is where we get the movie title. And when she calls, she's like, "Oh, I can't believe this worked. Why does it work?" Maybe I'm just digging too deep.
Yeah.
But it's breaking the fabric of time in my brain.
Yeah, same. We talked about it after we watched. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then the other man I have is we get all of these characters and we develop them all really well. Like we have the closing with the mom, we have the closing with the brothers, we have the whole story with Chad. But the dad, he's talked about between her and her older self. And the only scene we really get that he talks in is when she finds out they're selling the farm.
And he didn't even really say much. And he was just like, sorry.
We don't really get a story with Dad. How come Dad didn't get, a day out with Maisie, or Maisie is her real name, but with Elliot before she leaves type of thing. And, you have an 1.5-hour movie, what's 10 more minutes in a scene with Dad or a heartfelt message from Dad type of thing? Like, yeah. I just felt like Dad got the short end of the stick, kind of.
Definitely.
It was a little bumming. Yeah. They talk about him, like... Eat the salmon while you can, because I miss it. So, I don't know if she's insinuating that you don't see Dad anymore or Dad's dead, but, why didn't Dad get his time to shine type of thing?
That's very true.
But that's really it.
Yeah.
Nothing major. Just some things that could have been changed here and there, and I think would have made this a really, really good movie. But I still enjoyed this movie.
Yeah. I think all of my things that were in the meh are the same as yours. Like, the plot hole with why is she able to...
Yeah. That's the big one.
Exist in 2 different time
And even frames. Chad can see her. That's not explained.
That...
when Chad gives her the hug, I'm like...
She was like, you can see her, but why can she see her? Because she isn't tripping.
Yeah. Which they did say that, she was on a bunch of shrooms, but how would she enter her world on a bunch of shrooms? Wouldn't just young Elliot go to her world? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
It wasn't explained enough.
When she was behind the tree and popped out... towards the end, I was like, what is she doing here? I wasn't expecting to see her again. I was maybe expecting, a phone call like we got and a voice message. I wasn't expecting to see her again. But I don't know. That was just
threw me for a loop.
Yeah, definitely some things that might have needed to be... And maybe it's because... I don't know. I was thinking about it, and I was trying to come up with something.
Yeah.
Some, reason, maybe because Chad she knows Chad, and that's why I don't know, I was trying to make it make sense in my brain, and it's just not, unfortunately. Because
she knows all those characters, if you think about it. Yeah. She knows Mom, Dad, brothers.
But they don't really interact, you know what I mean? She's kind of I don't know. I just don't know.
But... Those
are just the things in the math for me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just some things we don't get to get explained all the way.
For sure. So we'll hop over to our final thoughts and ratings. What do you want to leave off with My Old Ass? And what do you give it out of 10?
I'm going to leave off by saying that I forgot to mention it in the good, but the second time she
did a trip to
had her trip to try to conjure her older self. The Justin Bieber scene is the best thing, and I thought it was hysterical because growing up, you wanted to be the girl on the stage that Justin Bieber handed the rose to on the stage.
One less lonely girl. That's what you wanted to be, that girl.
Yeah, every girl did, and I just thought it was hilarious because Elliot was gay for a little part of the movie, and she gives off a more masculine tone than her other friends, so she didn't want to be the one less lonely girl. She wanted to be Justin Bieber, giving the roses and singing to the girls, and I just thought that was hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious that Chad was sitting on the stool.
Oh, and his hair in that braid.
Yeah.
And the painted shirt was so... Whenever, just 2010, 2012, that was very on brand. That was perfect.
I like Percy Hines White a lot.
Yeah, he was great. But I was just giddy the whole time that was playing because I thought it was hilarious. And it's very fitting.
Yeah.
So that's all.
What do you give it
that would be my final thought.
What do you give it out of 10?
There's nothing in the bad, and our maths are really just things that weren't explained well. I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Okay. For me, I'm gonna go with 7.5.
Okay.
I think it's a pretty good movie. A few of those things maybe explain more bumps into the 8 region. And honestly, if it's not a movie that was 100% like made for me, which no movie is made for a specific person, but I mean like my type of person, I guess. So some of those jokes, I guess, are on me that I missed out on.
It's not necessarily like a chick flick, but like...
It's definitely going to be liked more by somebody that can relate to this character.
Definitely.
More. That's just how coming-of-age movies are.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off because I want to be Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Like...
Definitely.
You know, so... And it's hard to peg a movie for that, but it's just... I found myself bored at times because of it. So I can't really bump into that 8 region given the lack of explanation on the whole old-ass shit and that. But I still had a great time with this movie. I definitely recommend going to watch it. We had a mom and 2 daughters right in front of us in the theater. I think that's like the perfect like mom and daughter date movie. Like go check this out with your mom. For sure. It'd be a great time.
Or a bunch of your girlfriends, I think it would be. Yeah, for sure.
Not to say that a guy can't enjoy this movie. No, like I said, I still did, so go check it out. Like, I'm not above myself, like in this movie.
There was an old man in the back of the theater.
Yeah. If you've seen Wednesday, go check it out for Percy Hines Wet Alone. You know, I think he elevates his performance in this one even more, and I liked him a lot in Wednesday, so that's a bonus. But, yeah, it was worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree.
I wish the theater was a little more full, but... We're always happy with what we can get. There's a few people there supporting the theaters with us, so we appreciate them.
We do.
That'll do it for my old ass, Rosie. Thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Thank you all for watching. If you like what you're watching, check out some of the other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. As always, we appreciate whatever you do, and we will talk to you all soon. Peace.
Peace and love.